talk about Saudi Arabia purchasing WrestleMania from the WWE. And we'll give you the good, the bad, and the ominous. Dun, dun, dun. Could this be the
Isn't there a
sign?
wrestling book called The Good, Bad, and Ugly?
I would imagine. I know there was a great movie with
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
I think the original Sheik was on the cover of it too for the ugly part.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And I am not, of course, impersonating the original Sheik. I am impersonating tonight the members of the Saudi Arabian Tourism Board who rolled out the red carpet for the WWE and apparently to the tune of $250 million purchased a WrestleMania. Casey, who knew that that's all it would take? I mean, you're laying around on that pile of cash there at your place in Central PA, and all you would have had to do is ring up Triple H and say, "Hey, pal, I got 250 mil burning a hole in my pocket. How's about this WrestleMania thing coming to my place?"
Wow, they have a lot of heat for that too, don't they?
Well, they sure do. And we'll
Hey,
look
do I
at
sound
it.
okay? Because I'm like a lot of echo in my headset. Am I okay?
You sound good. You're on your
Okay,
microphone.
perfect.
I know you built a fire pit today, so you're all wrung out.
Yes.
Look at you.
Yes, I am. I did a podcast before this, so
What are you
I
stepping out on me?
well, I do it to promote and build our show.
Oh, okay.
We're
All right.
we're on the road to 1,000. So
Ooh.
1,000 subscribers by the first of the year. So we got some work to put in, but we'll make it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Little by little.
Tell your friends, your loved ones, make sure you hit the like button on the YouTube. It apparently is a good thing. How about on the TikTok? What do they do on the TikTok? Do you like things? Do you
Yeah, I think you like it. Yeah.
you like
Yeah,
it?
like. Yeah, it's weird is I think this is a common thing for all YouTubers or us social media content providers
Yeah, you're a
that we are
content
now.
provider now. Look at you.
Yeah, so I think the biggest problem is that it's free. All you have to do is subscribe.
Right.
So, people they watch it. I think about 60-70% of people watch stuff and don't even subscribe to it. So, um, it's weird because we'll get subscribers and then we'll go down to one or two, and then it goes up. It's like,
Right.
I changed my mind. 10 minutes later, don't want to follow them. So it's
it's weird.
it's interesting, but we always say we're in it for the long haul, so we're not going anywhere. We're gonna be telling our stories from now until 1 million subscribers.
That's right. Unlike the WWE,
We might be a little happier at 1 million, but hey.
Yeah, that's right. WWE, under its current leadership, is apparently all about the money. TKO has come out and said, kind of in defense of themselves, I guess, that the reason that they're selling to the highest bidder is because they're a business, they're about making money, and Vince McMahon always kept prices low, Casey, because he marketed to families. What do you think about that?
I mean, I can see both sides of it, but me not gonna buy a ticket to go, so I don't really care.
Right.
But I can see it for the boys. The more money they make, in theory, the more money their contracts are going to be for, so they'll be happier.
Right.
So yeah, I'm all for it because we always, no matter if we're there or not, we always want our friends, the boys, everyone to succeed and make more and more money and flourish and everything.
Right, and that, of course,
I guess they'll be doing that in Saudi Arabia, though.
Well, that is the good. So that the good is more money for the company should mean more money for the talent, and that they will continue to be able to do the things that they have done. I mean, the company for the talent, meaning we won't have to cut back any services. We won't have to skimp on catering. We can have trainers, and we can get the best medical care. We can do all the things that we're currently doing, which is great.
Right.
And since all the money's guaranteed, you don't have to worry about going to the bank with your check, there's an old, colloquialism. You don't have to worry about the check bouncing. It is going to clear.
Right.
Of course, everybody's paid electronically now. I know that. But anyway,
So
more money is good,
quick,
right?
Yeah. Well, on that point right there, generally speaking, in the WWE world, after the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania, what comes after WrestleMania? Cuts. They start cutting people.
Always.
Now, you think they're going to cut a lot of people after making $250 million? You think they're still going to come out and start?
They did every year. I don't know if they've done it every year, but regardless of the WrestleMania, there's always a number attached to it. They had X number of thousand in the building, and the gate was over X number, and they had this many pay-per-view buys, and now they're going to start cutting people. Just now the numbers have gotten bigger, so the complaints are not going to go away anytime soon.
Speaking of WrestleMania, what your time there, or knowing more about behind the scenes than other people, what's the biggest known WrestleMania payoff that you've ever heard of?
The number that I knew when I was there, main event got $1 million.
Oh, okay.
They got $1 million. That's the bonus. Wow. That's the pay-per-view bonus, which is paid out after all of the pay-per-view totals are calculated, and it's paid out generally a couple of months later.
Now, I wonder what they're getting paid now, since now it's PLEs, since there are no pay-per-views anymore. Do you think they still get a bonus, or how that pay structure works?
I don't know. I would imagine that every contract is unique, and that certain wrestlers who are savvy businessmen with good agents are able to extricate some sort of bonus out of whatever goal might be hit. I know that in New Japan, and this is going to sound funny, but I'll explain it. For Tokyo Dome, when all the floor seats would sell out, everybody got 1,000 yen bonus, which is about $10. And it was, and it wasn't like a bonus. It was just like a little gesture of saying thank you. But it wasn't like, this is now extra money that you've made because of our goodwill. It's, we did something as a company, and so we just want to say thank you to everybody and give you a little gift. Instead of buying everybody, a little box of cookies or some coffee, they gave us all $10. And we just,
I used to remember when you
and here's the other thing. Listen to this. You're not supposed to spend it. Uh-oh. Casey's disappeared. So while Casey has been, what do you mean he's going to, there he is. What'd you do?
It's doing, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on.
Well, your microphone's not on anymore. Your microphone was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I hear you in the ambient noise track in the background.
Okay, here we go.
Got to switch that beautiful Sennheiser or whatever that is, noise canceling.
Hold on, let me my mic. I'm going to leave and then come back in. This is crazy.
Hold. Mic is temporarily on. Mic is temporary.
I'm going to leave. Bye-bye.
I'm on. I know. So while Casey's gone, I can talk, but I can talk apparently if I hold the space bar down. So listen to this. As I said, when we are in Japan and they'd sell all the floor seats for Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom, we would get a bonus. It's not a bonus, it's a gift. It's just a little gesture of, appreciation based around their goal that they had. And the number wasn't any great monetary gain. It was 1,000 yen.
Wow. Am I back? I can't hear you now. This is really wild. I
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Okay, if anyone wants to get their
all right, now I got
Kelly t-shirt, anyone wants to get their Kevin Kelly t-shirt, you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees, look up Kevin Kelly, and you can purchase your own Kevin Kelly t-shirt.
Completely stolen. Best at the desk instead of King of the Ring. That was designed, and I can't remember his name. I'll have his name next week. But it was during a Twitch stream that I was doing in Japan with Chase Owens. And one of his great subscribers came up with the slogan, and I said, that would make a great t-shirt. And there you have it. So it's available, prowrestlingtees.com / Kevin Kelly. So Casey, ask me how much of a bonus I got for Tokyo Dome. Can you hear me?
Kevin.
Yeah, can you hear me?
When they sold out all the seats at the Tokyo Dome, what was your bonus? Ringside seats.
All the floor seats sold out. And we got a bonus. Everybody, every single person, including staff, got an envelope. And inside of it was 1,000 yen, which is equivalent to $10.
Wow, 1,000.
Now, here's the thing.
You eat for 1,000 yen there.
You could go get a reasonably priced bowl of ramen. You could get a couple of Starbucks coffees. You could get a nice little pastry treat from one of the many. They have a lot of bakeries. You would probably need to throw in a couple of hundred.
McDonald's Happy Meal though.
Yeah, you could eat McDonald's. You can get out of McDonald's for about equally priced in the U.S. about $7 or $8. 700-800 yen for a full meal, sure. If you wanted a curry, you'd have to probably pony up a couple of 100 yen in your own, because 100 yen is equivalent to $1. At least it was. Now it's equivalent to 50 cents. So it's cheaper for foreigners to go to Japan now. But here's the thing. We got this bonus in this envelope, and it's considered bad luck to spend the money. I'm not kidding. And I was only I don't make these rules. Every year I'd gotten a 1,000 yen. I threw the envelope away, I put it in my wallet, and I spent it. And then somebody said, "Oh no, you're not supposed to spend it. It's bad luck." What? Well, no wonder why. I've had 3 years of bad luck. So then I think I still have one.
Exactly.
Floating, it's upstairs in a drawer somewhere. It's just floating around. Anyway, the bonus structure for WWE now is certainly more than 1,000 yen if they're giving out bonuses, considering the company just sold WrestleMania for $250 million to the Saudis.
Now, do you think they're going to have a U.S. WrestleMania, or in their contract, because they have their tourism board, they're trying to bring people to the Middle East? Do you think they're not allowed to have another WrestleMania?
Well, I think you answered your own question. And I would say, well, sure, they would try to have their own WrestleMania. Of course, they're gonna sell WrestleMania as often as they can. But maybe there is an exclusivity clause tied to the money that they're getting from the Saudi Arabian Tourism Board, related to exclusivity. And this is the one and only WrestleMania coming up in 2 years. and the only way to see it live is to fly to Riyadh and be part of the event. That could very well be the case.
Wow.
So, yeah.
And now, don't the ladies have to wear certain attire to
I'm
be
not
fully covered?
I'm not so sure. I don't know what the rules are. See, so the good is,
Oh, really?
hey, good money. Money is good. Capitalism works. You sell it for the highest price. Yes, that's what business is. And it's good. But now here's the bad. What are the fans going to do? Now, I want to go back to the Vince point I made earlier on, because TKO, to me, took off their glove, right? They saw Vince's face and they backhanded him. They slapped Vince right across the face. They made Vince sound like some country bumpkin yokel promoter when they said he tried to sell, he sold WWE tickets so low because he was interested in selling to families. Like he made Vince sound small time. And I thought that was
This
really...
is TKO that's doing that.
Yeah, TKO. Mark Shapiro said it. I just thought it was really like a slight. Like, I understand not wanting to thank Vince or not wanting to bring his name up. But at the same time, man, you just don't... Vince didn't take WrestleMania. Vince did not take wrestling from the smoke-filled, dingy arenas and bring it to the bright lights and big cities of Madison Square Garden, New York. It was already there. They were already running the biggest arenas: Boston Garden, Madison Square Garden, Pittsburgh Civic Arena, Cap Center, Landover, Maryland, Philly Spectrum. They were running all the big buildings. So let's not... Revisionist history has always been a strong suit of the WWE. But in this case, that's a damn insult to Vince, I think. And I think they're trying to demean him to get themselves over. And that's what I wanted to say about that. That, to me, is one of the bad things. Don't take a dump on Vince to get yourself over, to somehow justify what could be a controversial decision to some. Now, the question that you raised, Casey, is a good one. What the heck are the fans going to do to go to Saudi Arabia? Are the women going to have to wear veils? What are the rules? Are they allowed to drive the rental car? What do you do? I don't know anything about traveling to Saudi Arabia. What do you know?
I don't know. That's what I know.
So did
Saudi
you ever...
Arabia, I'm not really sure. I had a friend who was just in Dubai.
Yeah.
And was texting me pictures from over there. And he was telling me that, I see, you see any cops with Lamborghinis? He's like, no, I saw some cop cars at Porsche 911s though.
Ooh. Yeah, apparently everybody is very well funded over there. We do apologize if there is a little bit of static. Southern Joe bringing that up.
It's a little... it's something a little crazy tonight.
A little crackly. But all right, so let me ask you this: in the world of wrestling that you and I came from, you believed nothing that you heard. You believed nothing you heard, and only half of what you saw.
Right.
And both of us were floated, I'm sure, numerous times. Tours to this destination, that country, this hemisphere, that place. Did anybody ever talk to you about wrestling in the Middle East?
Yes, Pakistan.
Oh my God. Really?
I was the one putting the tour on.
Oh, okay. So tell us about it. Now, who were you, without getting into too deep into the specifics, was it related to the government? Was it an independent promoter over there? What were what were we working with?
It was an independent promoter that promoted big events and stuff like that. He knew someone that knew me, And so it got to the point where I made this when MXPW was going on. I made a promotional material. I made packages for them to send over there for Pakistan, and it was like a couple week tour. Over there for a couple weeks. We're going to promote it, and we're going to wrestle the event. So we would do the whole media circuit and all that kind of stuff. The whole deal. So um, at this time there was a war going on real close by,
Mm-hmm.
and so about 90% of the guys were like, "Yeah, I'll go." I talked to the warlord about it. He's like, "Oh, I've been over in Baghdad when bombs are going off. I don't care. As long as I get paid, I'm in."
Okay.
As some people say, "Are you out of your fucking mind?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "I'll go though," but okay. But they pretty much everyone wanted to go.
Okay. Now, where were these events going to be held? Were they going to be held in what's the main city in Pakistan? Karachi, I think.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, it kind of they're trying to work it out, and the details kind of I don't remember all the details anymore, but I know that it was very close. We were going back and forth on money. Basically, it was like a 4 show deal, and um, I want to say it was something that was inexpensive.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
I
so
want to say it was something inexpensive, like $75,000 for the tour.
okay, that would have covered flights,
So
talent, little money for
yeah,
the office.
yeah, everything. I was going to cover the um, getting us there and paying the talent, and they handled everything else.
So they would bring the ring.
So,
They would get the venues. They would make sure the chairs were set
oh
up
no,
in
I
the
would have to ship a ring over there.
Oh, is that part of that 75
Yeah,
grand?
yeah. But this is way, way back. This is in the 2000. This is 25 years ago.
Right.
20 years ago. So
Yeah,
things were a little
75
bit different.
grand was
I would have tried to found.
75 grand was worth
It
something.
was still. Oh yeah, it was 75. Yeah, like 75 grand's nothing now, but 75 grand was
Yeah.
worth something back then.
Right.
I do remember I was trying to get on a tour that over in Saudi Arabia that Kevin Sullivan was on. That who was it? Tatanka had. He
Okay.
took a bunch of guys over, and they had the way they had it set up. They wrestled for the Sheik. So there was like 4 or 5 different Sheiks you would wrestle for, and they weren't friends with each other. They like were enemies, but they worked together to bring everyone over.
Oh,
So you'd go
interesting.
there and yeah, you would go there, you wrestle for their sheik, one show for their sheik and all their tribe or whatever. Then you go to the next sheik and go all the way around, and every sheik would treated them like they were the biggest stars ever ever in wrestling. And um, they would buy every piece of merchandise you had. They would say, "I want to buy it all." So those guys that went on there, and there's if you name a few, I think Billy Fives went on it, Hack Myers went on it, a few guys like that. I think the Shane Twins went on it. So it's Barbarian went on it.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Sullivan, I think Earthquake went on it. Some guys like that. So it was like some older WWF guys. Kevin was on it. Um, um, and then some Florida guys and stuff like that. So, but
Round out the
they all
card.
did really well. Yeah,
It sounds like they did really well because if everybody's getting paid and it's 4 separate shows and each one is treating the stars like they are, nobody gets tired of seeing anybody. You know what I mean? Because sometimes
right.
when you go
Yeah,
and you're going to do multiple shows, Casey, and the first one doesn't draw, and then by the end, the promoter's crying poor, and everybody's worried that they're not going to get paid. With these 4 individual shows,
Right.
you knew you were going to get paid because you were
Yeah.
only there once.
Now, talking about not getting paid, I've been to South America quite a few times wrestling, and I think I've been on 5 or 6 tours to South America, to Peru, like 4 times to Peru. And the first time we went, we wrestled 4 shows at it's in Lima, in a big bullfighting arena called the Amato, A-M-A, Coliseum Amato, A-M-A-U-T-A, Amata.
Okay.
And it was the coolest building you ever seen. When you drove down into it, like you're going down the ramp, go into it, and then you're underground. And we wrestled, me and Cliff, and we wrestled. It was 4 days. We did a match that we wrestled the Shane twins over there, and it was probably their best match they've ever had. I said, you guys don't talk. I'll call the whole match. It'll be perfect. And tell me what you want to do. I'll work everything in.
Yeah.
So we won the titles the first night. And then the last night, the babyface goes over. They win the titles and all that. One of the nights, it was not a pay-per-view, like a closed circuit throughout the whole entire country. And they're like, hey, we're 10 minutes short. Can you guys fill it? They're like, huh? They're like, yeah, just go tear up the building for 10 minutes. I'm like, okay. So we did. We did a whole us against the Shane twins, tore up the building for 10 minutes to close it all out. We went there. We made it wasn't big money, but you know what? You got treated like your god.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, you were the biggest rock star. They didn't know who Hogan was, The Rock was. They knew who we were. It was the craziest thing. And I remember telling guys, because we did every talk show, game show, everything. We'd sit outside the hotel, and there'll be literally thousands of people wanting to see you. And
Damn.
so I'm like, let me go out there for about 10 minutes and sign autographs. Go out there and sign autographs, come back in. And I'm not exaggerating, thousands of people. And so we went over there. Everything went very, very well. We came. Of course, you know how the boys are. The boys get a hold of it. They screw up. They fuck up everything, and it ruins it for everyone.
Boys ruin it for the boys.
So this one group decided to go on their own and away from the people who did it. And so now we're on another tour where there's two groups there. So we're with the original promoter, and so we're in Lima for 2 days. We're up in down in Arequipa, and then we go all the way in the mountains to Huancayo. And this was we were on the way back from Huancayo when we heard about Owen Hart dying. And at the same time that happened, and I don't know if you remember this name or not, a Tampa guy that Steve Kern trained named You Love It.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he died over there in Peru.
Yeah. Oh.
He had an overdose. So I remember we weren't even there when it happened. We came in a couple hours later, and Kern was in the hallways like, hey man, he's like, hey, they're coming in here, and they're gonna, if you guys got anything in your rooms or anything, get rid of it, because they're gonna search everything. Because basically what happened, he went there early. You have to realize everything's 24-hour pharmacies, no prescriptions needed.
Right.
So they're on every painkiller, muscle relaxer, you know the deal, you know the gimmick.
Oh,
And
yes.
of course now they're over there, and everyone's getting steroids and stuff like that, right? So the guy was on liquid clenbuterol and taking pills, and his heart exploded, and his body expanded like 4 times its size inside the stall at one of the restaurants over there, bathroom stall. Yeah, he was a really good guy, man. It's just unfortunate. And so Steve hauled ass during the middle of the night. He's like, I'm out of here. He left all the boys and said, he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in, the federal police, they wanted our passports, and I'm like, no, you want my passport? I said, you have a picture of it right there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I see it. Why do you need my passport? You're not getting my passport. I said, I want to go to the American consulate. And so they're like, and I slipped out and I said, I don't know about you guys, but I'm catching a flight out of here now. I suggest you guys go too. So, um, and everyone was treated like major stars there, like the biggest thing. Like paparazzi were following us around. They'd have I see paparazzi take a picture of us. The next day, there's posters of it. I'm like, oh, hey, let me buy that poster of me myself. That they stole the picture of and everything. It was the
Yeah,
craziest thing.
but let
So,
me ask you this now. So the
um,
cops come in, the federal police come in, but you guys are considered like stars. So is it front page news that American wrestler
oh,
dies on tour?
huge front
Wow.
page news. They said, go to your rooms, don't go out, don't do nothing. One of the guys he wrestled, I think of the name Postman. One of Kern's guys, he's trained. He went out, he got arrested for getting some hookers and some coke. And I was already on the plane gone, right?
Yep.
So the promoters paid extra money and everything to get them um breaking any laws or cussed. Ooh,
Hang
yeah.
on. Hang
Um
on. We'll talk about this. It's a very good question. Did you ever see any talent break any laws? Well, we're just talking about that. Or how about any local customs because of them not knowing? Well, yes, Casey,
yeah,
talking about the
I'll tell a
postman
story.
and not about he wasn't from the
So
USPS, apparently,
yeah. So he gets arrested for
because he always
buying drugs
delivers.
and a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The promoter bought himself out. Meanwhile, myself, I'm already on a flight coming home, right? Well, I find out from people because I'm like, why is no one talk? I met a lot of people and stuff like that. Why is no one talking to me or anything, right? From over
Yeah.
there. Well, come to find out, the I was one of the top guys over there, and my picture was in the newspaper stock photos. So basically, they took my picture saying, and they called us gladiators. Gladiator arrested for cocaine and prostitution with my picture on it.
Oh no.
So we go back, 3 years later, and there's a big press conference. You remember Kevin Donofrio, Cyborg?
Yeah.
Yeah, big jacked guy, like a Goldberg looking guy, right? He owned a bunch of gyms in Brant, like Tampa area, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, man," he says, "I'll guarantee your money." He was well off and everything. He did fine. He says, "I guarantee your money." He says, "If you know, the promoter bails on you, I'll pay you within a week of getting back. I'll send you a check for my gym." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." He's a man of his word, always has been. He's a good guy. He's the
Hmm.
shits in the ring, but he's a good guy. And I had to wrestle him too, right?
I
So
love
we'd
that.
have a big
By
press
the way,
conference.
so many great wrestling stories are nice guy shits in the ring. Nice guy couldn't work a link. I love those stories. They work for me every time.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be
Uh,
leading
yeah,
Cyborg through
he is
these
the shits.
matches, and he's guaranteed you your money for this tour. 3 years after you were accused of buying cocaine and hookers, erroneously, because your picture
Yes.
was the stock photo they used.
Yeah. So
What could go wrong?
we're in this whole paper, the whole thing. We got, all these big guys are over there, the Shane twins, all jacked guys. Kevin, Cyborg, jacked and all that. I was a big guy. I was, but I wasn't like you see. I wasn't as obvious as those other guys, right? So we're all sitting there, and the first question out of the press conference was like, dressed to me, and they're like, "Oh, we have a question uh about the steroid, you guys' steroid use." And it came directed towards me, and I'm like, "No, oh no." And I was a heel over there this time. I'm like, "No." I said, "Look at these guys. Are you going to accuse me of taking steroids?" I deflected it on all the big gassed out guys. Oh, I said, "No," and, they're all like, "Oh, what the" everyone was yelling at me. We ended up, uh,
Not
uh,
me.
we ended up, um, we ended up, big schmoz and tearing up the place, and I took one of the reporters and grabbed him by his neck and held him up in the air and, and grabbed him and everything, and, I didn't get in trouble over there like a David Schultz would, but, yeah, it was funny 'cause, it was I told guys, I said, "Listen, guys, enjoy this while it lasts, because as soon as you get off that plane in Miami, you're back to being a nobody."
Mhm.
Okay, so don't let it go to your head. Don't think you're some big star. Don't think that your WWF's gonna be calling you, because 'cause they're not, because that's not how it works. I said, "You're gonna get off the plane and no one's gonna know who you are." Because I remember the second time I was there, I know I'm going back and forth, but these things are all just pumping in my
I
head.
love it.
Me and Billy Pfizer at a club one night, right? And we're at they call them discos over there, and we're talking to some girls, and yeah, they're okay. And so she's like, "Oh, you very famous." I said, "Oh, no, no, I'm part of the Gladiators." She's like, "No, no, no, you are very famous. Everyone knows you." Because remember, I said that whole show was closed circuited the first time, and I took a guitar and hit one of the Shane twins over the head with it. They wanted to use a guitar, so I filled it
Yeah.
full of baby powder and I fucking whacked the shit out of them with it. Thing exploded and all that. I said, "Me?" She's like, "Yeah." I said, "Oh." I said, "Well, Billy," I said, "I don't know about you, but if I'm famous," I said, "I'm moving up the pecking order here. I'm getting some hotter girls." So I said, I went to the bathroom. I said, "You want to go to the bathroom?" He's like, "Sure." Literally, swear to God, it's like it clicked. I came out of the bathroom and people were like, "Oh, can you take a photo?" Photo for such a um poor country. Everyone had a camera,
Yeah.
you know. So I'm like, "Yeah, yeah," and all their boyfriends are taking the pictures. I'm like, "Yeah, hey." So I'll get a lot of heat and everything. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, I didn't know." And I have there's tons of pictures of me on the newspaper and stuff like that. And I was actually telling my brother, because he's going on a missions trip to Arequipa, Peru. I said,
Okay.
"Oh man, they got all these discos over their whole street full of them."
That's not where
I'm
he's
telling my
going.
brother, the pastor, this.
He's not
Yeah,
going to
and
the discos.
so I told him, I said, "Let me tell you a story." I said, "I was over there. We were in this one, and it wasn't real busy and whatnot. And we're like VIP anywhere we went, right?" So
Mhm.
I said, actually, I said this to Billy Fives. I said, "Billy, I think I'm gonna go start a Congo line." He's like, "Casey, don't, no." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to." He's like, "Get the fuck out of here, bro." So I started a Congo line. I started a Congo line. Next thing you know, I go out the front door. I go down a couple clubs. I go in another one. I'm like, "Oh, they're with me." And there's like 150 people in the line, the Congo line, all dancing from one club to the next club. And he's
That's
like, "I've
nice.
never seen anything like that in my life." Yeah, so it was crazy. It was fun. Um, I would have went over there just for the experience. The money wasn't an issue to me. It's just you go over there, you get your ego stroked, you have a good time, you wrestle, you get experiences and memories with the boys and stuff like that, and then you go back home to reality.
I I
But to
I
answer a question, did we ever see any talent break any laws? Yes. Or
Mhm.
customs? Um, I can tell you this: um, like I said, every pharmacy was 24 hours, no prescriptions needed. Everyone had their fanny packs on, and mine was just full of pills. And you just say, "Here, take these, whatever." I don't know, just take them. Everyone's just switching. So I'm on the plane, and we're leaving Peru, and all of a sudden I'm like, "Why is the plane landing?" We had an emergency stop in Bolivia. We were ordered down by their military because the airline we used was owned by the drug cartel. So it was
Oh,
called SETA Airline, a Peruvian airline. So they ordered us down. We all had a disc, all come off the plane, and then they had the canine dogs go through the plane, and then we were all lined up on the tarmac, about 150, 200 passengers, And then when they went through the whole plane, they finished, they loaded us back up, and then we took back off. And so I landed in Miami and going through customs, I was like, look down, I'm like, oh shit, my bag is packed full of pills, pain pills, muscle relaxers, every kind of pain pills you can think of, right? And I was like, oh boy. And so I'm going up to customs. He's like, oh, guys, welcome back. We heard about what happened to you guys. I'm like, oh, yeah, we're just glad to be home. Want to get home. They're like, oh, man, go on through. Go have a good day. Do you have anything? I'm like, clear? I said, no. They went to open the bag and the stuff smelled so bad because you're there for a couple of weeks. They just closed it up. I said, yeah, you can go on. And I was like, oh, man, I was like sweating bullets. But to answer another question, um, I bought a 50 cc bottle of Winstrol V over there, and it was about $30.
Okay.
So I went and it's water based, so it goes in and out of your system in a day. So every time I went to my room, I'll take a syringe, and you can get all the steroids you wanted over there, but the syringes were very, very hard to get. So
Oh,
I
okay.
had one syringe. So I just took it off and put it in a glass of rubbing alcohol. So every time I went to the room, I'd come back and stick myself. And I think I lost about 17 pounds and just shredded up when I came off the plane one of the trips because, it was while in Rome, you do what they do, So
Sure.
I'm like, hey, I'm not in the wrestling mentality. You're not going to throw any of it away
Right.
because, well, I can tell another good story. So, and this is a Hackmeyer story,
Okay.
and everyone that knows Hack knew what Hack did. He was all kinds of drugs and stuff like this. Hack was a great guy. He was one of my closest friends in the wrestling business. And, he cleaned up his life and everything, and then ended up getting having brain surgery and ended up passing away after that. So we're over there, and this is the second trip. So I'm in the room. A guy comes in. He's like, "Hey, tell me when to stop." He's taking this kilo of cocaine, and I've never done any cocaine in my life. That's not my thing. I've done pain pills and steroids, and that's it. You know, but never did any kind of. I never even smoked marijuana. I don't like the smell of that stuff.
Yeah, me
So
neither.
and
I've
the
tried
stuff
it.
is
I
so
don't like it.
flaky and yeah. So they're shaving it off the block, and they said, "Tell me when to stop." And uh they got a 9 grams for like $60, which is crazy cheap. So they were
Wait, did they
doing it,
get
him
let
and
me ask I'm going to ask a dumb question. Did they get this cocaine from the pharmacy or from the street?
they got it from the top guy because we were celebrities,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
One of the
yeah.
cartel guys came in and tell me when to stop,
Oh, okay, got it.
right off the
So he's
kilo is
making
like perp is
he's doing
crazy.
like Parmesan cheese on top of your salad at the Olive Garden. Got
Correct.
it.
So the whole time, Dave, the Blackheart Dave Johnson and Hack Myers, they didn't sleep. They're doing this coke the whole entire time, and they're like, so the whole time so we're in Lima, and we had to drive up to Arequipa. It's like a 6-hour bus ride through the mountains of those craziest, dangerous roads you've seen on those shows, where you
Yeah.
look down and you see, 10,000. Yeah, that's where we're at. So and he's with some Rizat trying to, he's with her the whole time. She went on the trip with us. And she's like, oh, look, look, look. He's like, what is she trying to do? She's waking me. I'm trying to relax and everything. Every trying to turn around. She's like um, showing me something.
Yeah.
So finally, of course, he's starting to get paranoid because there's a couple days no sleeping, doing the gimmick the whole time. He looks up there. There's military. It looks like there's a roadblock up there, right? So he's like, "Oh shit!" He's like freaking out, and he's like to her. He pokes her on the shoulder. Hey, what is that over there? Oh, and she went to show him something. He takes the gimmick, takes the stuff, puts it in her jacket pocket,
There you
and
go.
then come to find out, all it was the military because we're at such high altitude. that they wanted to make sure that we were okay, and so they had oxygen and stuff like that, to make sure everyone was fine. And he's like, "Oh shit, I got to try to figure out how to get my stuff back out of her jacket."
Just more
And
distraction.
the gimmick over there
Should make
is
a good referee. Look at that. What?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is the best
The
show.
gimmick over there was
Out of
this,
every episode that we've done, this is the best one. We've had everything. And I've kept renaming you,
yeah.
by the way.
So
For a while you were Fanny
Oh.
Pack Pharmacy customer. Now you're While in Rome. I've changed it up 4 or 5 times. I wrote earlier that you were not the guy, not the not the Peruvian arrested guy. So yeah.
yeah, exactly. The gimmick was the promoters. They had a big 2-liter of water with cocoa leaves in it
Okay.
for the altitude, and they give us this lemon candy. Like, what is that? Is this a lemon candy? Oh, altitude. Like, okay, I didn't drink the cocaine 2-liter water, but all the other guys did. But I was like, yeah. So that was a crazy trip. And then on the way back, like I said before, that's when we found out Owen died and Kern fucking skedaddled out really fast. He dropped them like they were like a bad habit. And they're all his kids he trained.
Oh, nice, perfect.
He's like, I'm out of here.
And the only story that I could tell, of course, from my time with WWF was Vader. And it's a very famous story, but I'm sure there are some of you that don't know it. But in 1996, there was a tour of Kuwait. And of course, just like every other time you go to a foreign country, you're a celebrity, you're a star, and you're on news, talk, whatever, TV shows, and you're supposed to act accordingly. Well, The Undertaker and Vader are both on this news program, and the news reporter asks, basically if wrestling is fake. And I think The Undertaker was able to just blow the question off and, move on. But Vader got enraged and was super insulted, then got angry, and then basically assaulted the host. Well, now this has become an international incident because he's in a foreign country. He's assaulted a member of the media, which is, I guess, kind of like he's like almost like an offshoot of the government, let's say, because maybe it's government controlled television, whatever it was. It wasn't just simple. Yeah, it wasn't just like simple assault. It wasn't like Hogan putting the shoot sleeper on Richard Belzer and having him pass out. This is a bad thing. And Vader gets put in jail.
Where they still had the firing squad and everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they would.
Yeah, it's not like our judicial system where you have appeals and stuff like that. Into you go over there and you see them, they find you guilty, and they sentence you and carry out that sentence all at the same time.
Right. And yeah, judge, jury, executioner, all in one. And so what you wound up with now is a huge international incident for a company that isn't too fond of Vader to begin with. And now, it's early 97. So the bloom is off the rose of Vader at this point, and everybody's tired of it. And so there was some thought, do we just leave him there? Do we not go and get him out of jail? Let him pay for his sins, whatever they would be.
I'm sure everyone was on that one.
There were a couple of hands that went up for that. Then it was, let's use whatever capital and goodwill we have to extricate ourselves from this situation and get Leon out of jail. And that's what happened. Now, Leon, of course, was punished greatly by the WWF at the time. I never knew what guys were fined, but I have a feeling that there were fines out the ass for this, because it cost a lot of money, I'm sure, to get him out of jail in Kuwait. And Casey, it's not like anecdotal, because this is on live television. and they could see it. And
Right.
it's not like, oh, I didn't mean that. I didn't say it that way. Yeah, this is you, where you're goozling the guy. At least with you in Peru,
Exactly.
was everybody kind of in on it, or were they thinking wrestling was real? Like, did you have to pat the guy on the ass and give him the wink after you held him up in the air choking him?
Oh no, they're just terrified.
They were okay. That's fine.
No,
it is Peru.
Oh, they're just terrified.
Good.
Yeah. And everything was fine. You know,
Kind of
we
like
could have
Japan.
done. It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. In that same press conference, they asked me. I think they set me up. The media. They asked me what I thought about Peruvian wrestling, and of course, I'm gonna heel on them. So I'm like, Peruvian. Everyone in Peru is little, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, those, and I'm like, so I'm making fun at them, making fun of them and everything. And so the next day, the media came and said that we've um, been invited to a Peruvian wrestling school. So to work out with the Peruvian wrestlers.
Shooters.
Well, in the bus that went over was me, Jeff Bradley.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think Chris and Vito were in this tour and a couple other people. And I'm like, guys, we have to literally go there and beat the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's no choice because we're supposed to be the big stars here coming from the US. I said, if we go over there and even do remotely look anything good to them, let them look good, it's gonna affect us and our gate and everything because they're gonna publicize this. So we have to go out there and beat the shit out of them. So all the guys are in there, and it's my turn to go in there. And meanwhile, it's the coolest thing. It's like 4 buildings and like an alley and like the rings in the middle of 4 buildings. It's like outside. It's really, really the coolest thing. And they actually have a poster up here on the wall that they gifted me as after I beat the shit out of all of them. So my turn to get into the ring.
Agreed. Thank you.
Yes. He is.
We know who that is. Our friend, our great guest in the past.
So, it's my turn to go out there, and they're like, "Hold on!" They bring out a guy to wrestle me, and it happens to be the biggest Peruvian in the world. I think he's like 6'5", 350 pounds, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck." So I just literally beat the shit out of him, and luckily he didn't try to fight back or anything. And I sold everything. And I actually found YouTube footage from the news of it. And their big guy is a Spider-Man guy. And he was doing this when we were there. He was propelling down from one of the buildings. He got caught and fell and hung upside down. It was like, ah!
Oh my God.
It was the funniest. It was the funny. I'm gonna send you the links for the YouTube for you to watch it. It's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Make sure you put that link in the comments.
But it shows us wrestling and beating the guys up and everything too.
Put it in the YouTube file as well. Put it down in the description.
I'll put it in the comments for everyone to see it.
How about okay? So were these guys trained at all? Were they?
Well, they were trained by a Bolivian wrestler. Yeah, they were trained to wrestle and everything. And we just like, guys, we had to beat the shit out of them. Jeff Bradley had no problem with it. I think Vito and Chris, Vito especially, worked with them a little bit, all that. But me, Jeff, and guys like that, we just literally beat the shit, just squashed them all. Just shot on all of them.
Oh,
yeah.
So of course, I'm Sheik Kevin L.K. Lee. And tonight we're talking about, we started talking about Saudi Arabia and the deal with the WWE, and have sidebarred into some glorious stories from Casey's tour of the world, mostly South America.
What are you talking about? This is in our show notes.
This is in the the show notes. But this is awesome.
We don't have no notes. Trust me, guys.
So, and as far as what this is going to be and what the fans could potentially deal with, I don't know. Ralph enjoys you. Ralph says that's the Casey. I know. Me too. We don't know what you're going to deal with, but obviously what you're going to have to do first is get your passport. Second, you're going to have to learn the rules. And that means totally and completely know the rules. You cannot go over there and plead ignorance, okay? Because the anticipation is that you're going to go there to watch the event. And yeah, the tourism board and in cooperation with the WWE is bringing WrestleMania there, but they're not bringing you there. They want you to spend your money in Saudi Arabia, but it's up to you to behave yourself and not be dumb. Yeah. So learn everything before you go. And if that means I can't bring my vape, I can't bring my stash, I can't, I got to cover up my tattoos, whatever the rules are, you have to abide by those rules. Why are you
thinking the wrestling fans have drug habits and bringing their marijuana? You're stereotyping them. Come on.
All right. With your Bibles, with your rosary beads, all of that. Got to make sure what you're doing. And when you go to Japan, for example, how
many people they expect to draw?
I don't know. Well, they're going to have it's going to be in a huge stadium. So you got to figure 100,000.
Yeah.
And then if they get 10 or 20,000 people traveling, what's the economic impact for that, for tourism? I'm sure that they could get, there may be some deals on tours. There might be you might be able to go and do this really inexpensively. I don't know. And there are some people that travel to WrestleMania every year.
Maybe some of our foreign listeners might know, has Saudi Arabia ever hosted the World Cup? Because that would be a good comparison.
Did they have the World Cup?
They get.
Didn't they just have the World Cup a couple of years ago?
In Saudi?
I think so. Or no, it was Qatar.
I'm sure someone.
I know it was the Middle East because they had to change. They had to change the times of the games because of the oppressive heat of the day. It would have killed people. So that's something I know. And of course, a friend of mine, a gentleman that I know, runs tours, and he's Qatarian, and he runs tours involved with the government. And he's done it. Yeah, Qatar hosted the last one. Yes. Thank you, Southern Joe.
See, I knew Southern Joe would know that.
A knowledgeable man. A good man has, QPW, Qatar Pro Wrestling, has hosted any number of foreign wrestlers over for their annual, biannual. It's one, it's at least once a year. And have a big show, and it's in a stadium. It's funded by the government, and it's put on by the government. And one thing I heard of, because Caprice Coleman was booked on all of them, he was like, the kids are unruly because they're all like rich. They come from rich families. So the security that's in place doesn't, they hold no sway with the kids. So the kids do whatever they want. So reach over and smack the heel. Yeah, sure. They're not going to get thrown out. They're not going to get arrested. They're not going to get in any trouble because their family is very powerful. That's one thing.
So a bunch of rich, entitled kids.
Yeah, there were some rich punks.
Wow.
So the punk factor was high. But other than that, it's a good time. Now, speaking of the punk factor, let's talk about CM Punk and others who have perhaps been outspoken in the past about doing business with Saudi Arabia, because there's a political element to this, and I don't understand all the hows and whys. But nevertheless, there's a political element to it. And I think it was Scott before that asked a question. Do you think that anybody could get in trouble if they refuse to go on this tour? Well, it is WrestleMania, and they are paying a lot of money. So what say you, Casey?
You mean the people that protest and not want to go?
Yeah, let's say a CM Punk says, you know, for political reasons, or
I don't think
Sami
they.
Zayn for religious reasons,
Yeah,
I don't want to go.
I think Sami Zayn would be wrestling for AEW then. I
Maybe.
don't think they're going to tolerate it.
I think that,
$250 million payoff.
yeah, I think there's a,
The Saudis are expecting everyone to be there,
right.
and plus some.
Yeah.
Now, is the
I,
Hall of Fame going to be over there?
if they're paying for it, and I don't know what's included, it'll be interesting to see. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Now, here's okay. So this I know, and I've heard this from a couple of different people. That when Saudi Arabia first was in negotiation with WWE, by the way, it was when Vince was there. So the TKO criticism of Vince being a yokel and just selling tickets to families, he was the first one with the Saudi deal.
Right.
So I want that. They of course, the Saudis wanted every top star that there was. And this is, you know, let's say 2018, 2017. No, I think it was like 2020, 21, whatever it was, 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, we would like to have the Ultimate Warrior. I had to tell them that the Ultimate Warrior was dead. They didn't know. So that's the element that they're working with. Yeah, they wanted Ultimate Warrior to wrestle.
Yeah.
Sorry, he ain't making this one. But that's the level of engagement, of involvement that they want. Okay, they paid for matches with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Kane, The Undertaker, Goldberg. I mean, this is the kind of dough that they're shelling out. And now this is WrestleMania.
Let me ask you this. Right. My experience from going anywhere overseas in the world, and maybe from your experience with Japan, this might be the same. Like in South America and stuff like that, they were really, really far behind on the times. Like the music was different and stuff like that. I wonder if that's why they're talking about guys like Triple H that's no longer active in the ring and people like that, you know, Shawn Michaels and all that, because that's what, you know, they're not up with the current stuff because they're a little bit behind the curve, shall we say.
Even in today's world that exists, AEW airs in Japan on New Japan World. It's a great way for the partnership for AEW to get exposure with the Japanese fans. It's geo-blocked, so only the fans in Japan can see it on World. But even for that, they're like 2 weeks behind. So that's in 2025, in a digital age where we can record on demand, and even they're 2 weeks behind. So it would depend on, as far as culturally, yes, there can be years behind, decades behind. It just depends. As far as the wrestling product is concerned, there were 3, 4, 5 week lags. Like we would be calling international versions of Superstars or Shotgun Saturday Night, whatever we were calling it, Jacked Metal, blah, blah, blah. And man, this match seems familiar. Yeah, you did it a month ago, or you did it 6 weeks ago. We're recalling it now for this week's, you know, Saudi Arabian Superstars or whatever they would call it. And it would air on
WCW had a lot of syndicated.
Yeah. And all of these foreign TV deals that you hear about.
Syndicated stuff. Like, yeah, there's some matches I've never even seen because they went straight overseas.
Yeah.
You know?
There was one time
show in the US.
There was one time, and I didn't see it, but Tommy Carlucci. Oh no, I did see it. And Tommy Carlucci told me what happened. The great longtime producer of WWF International was his. He was in charge of International, and he was just pulling his hair out every week. A young production assistant putting the show together gets the show to timeout and lays everything in. And this is, you know, they were still on tape, so it was tape to tape. And Vader entrance, Superstars match. All right, Vader's on his way to the ring. We'll be back. And then they come back, and we're back on WWF Superstars. And here comes Vader. Entrance, same entrance. Whoops. Quality control wasn't quite the same on the foreign versions of the show. So that meant a big fix and a whole big thing. But anyway, so there would be long lags. Now, if you go, and I started to talk about this earlier, if you go to Japan, tattoos are not a thing. If you want to go to the gym and you got tats, you have to cover yourself up. So Jay Briscoe, God rest his soul, you knew all the tattoos that he had. He had to go and be like in a turtleneck, long sleeve gloves, long pants, just to be able to go to the gym. They talk about the onsen, the hot springs, the spa, you sit in the hot water. You can't go in those if you've got tattoos. So there's rules and regs everywhere. And Japan is a tight ass country, but they're not going to throw you in jail for that. They'll politely ask you to leave.
Right.
And that's the end of it. Right. You've committed a faux pas. Like if you
Saudi Arabia's not that polite though.
No, you put your chopsticks in the rice, that's a faux pas. But in Saudi Arabia, off with his head? I don't know.
Wow. This is going to be exciting to see.
Yeah. And we know the boys being the boys. Remember a few years ago that the plane got held up and there was a lot of conjecture as to what led to the WWE superstars not being able to depart after an early Saudi Arabia show. Did Vince try to hold them up for money? Was there some sort of back and forth about final payment? Or did somebody do something that they shouldn't have? And was Vince paying them off so that they weren't getting hauled off the plane and led to the Saudi equivalent of the gulag? I have no idea. Nobody ever got the real story. But
hey, imagine this. All the independent shows that have so many, the WrestleMania week, it's gone.
Well, listen to this. So yeah, I was going to bring that up. Now, of course, one of the big, additions every year for that WrestleMania is fans from all over the world will not only get to see WrestleMania, but they'll also get to see a whole garden variety of independent promotions from all over, all at once, and they'll wrestle in bars and outdoor venues and smaller arenas, gyms, whatever they can get in nearby. And they will wrestle. There'll be shows around the clock. There's been shows that started at midnight, 2 a.m. It doesn't matter. And fans come out to see it because it's part of the thing. We're going to WrestleMania.
Draw pretty well, don't they?
They all draw pretty well. And the boys make good money because fans are there and they got money. And they're like, hey, I've watched your stuff. Let me buy your t-shirt because I support you. So it's a great financial deal for the boys. It's exposure for the companies, and it's value-added entertainment while the people are there anyway. Okay, so now what do we do about Saudi Arabia? Well, WrestleCon has already said that they're not going. Michael Del Vecchio, oh gosh, I can't remember his freaking name. They're not going because it's too much money. Yeah. But that GCW, Brett Lauderdale, said that he had local promoters reach out to him about running GCW shows over there. So that might happen.
Wow.
But
now those are the guys you're going to have to watch out for. That's going to get in a lot of trouble. Is all the independent guys going to, if they have independent shows in Saudi Arabia, those boys are going to fuck up and they're going to get.
Could fans get beheaded for anti-Saudi chants during Mania? I don't know. Scott, that's an extreme example, but it's something that you've got to consider before you make a decision to go over there. You've got to zip your lip because you're not in America anymore. This isn't Kansas, Toto. And You got to know what the rules are before you freaking leave your house. But yeah, what if we curse? Wow. What if we chant bullshit, bullshit? I don't know. Are we going to get pulled out of our seat? I have no idea. I want to I want to touch on this and not get too deep in the weeds about it, because I don't know everything that there is to know about this, but it's a fear that I have. So we talked about the good, the bad, and now the ominous with WrestleMania going to Saudi Arabia. So there have been businesses that have had great success in various industries, products, whatever. And in an effort to expand, they need capital. We can expand if we build a new factory. We can build a factory if we get investment from a hedge fund. And the hedge fund invests money in that company. They own a piece of it. Well, there's been more than one company who has seen the hedge fund buy more and more and more of the company. And as the company grows and grows, they come in and start chopping, and just squeezing out every dime of profitability. They're going to make as much money as they can, ruining the company in the process. And then once it's not worth anymore, they leave. They drive up the stock price as high as it can get. They drive its valuation up as high as they can get, and then they bail. And the original owner is left holding the bag, bankrupt, tens of millions of dollars in debt. That's my ominous fear with WWF, that they are growing and growing and growing, and all of this money and all of this money, and the valuation is going to get to a point, and then TKO is going to go, see ya. And
you know what? I was thinking that earlier.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think is going to happen?
What?
I'm going to call it now. You know who's going to buy it?
Vince.
Tony Khan. Tony Khan.
That would be something. I can't say you're wrong.
That would be,
because Tony Khan has that
level. The money to do it.
Khan family has that level of money, and TKO would have no qualms at all of selling whatever to make whatever they can get out of it. So that's a possibility, my boy, and one that I hadn't thought of. But it trust me, Vince, as you know, the family, there was always an element of, as long as the business is within the family, everything is going to be okay. No matter how much the stock price went up, down, didn't matter, because Vince held like 90% of the voting stock. It was still Vince. Everybody just bought the stock for ha-ha. Now it's a whole new ballgame. And somebody asked before, it may have been Scott, may have been Joe, I'm not sure, may have been Ralph, may have asked, and they asked, with now Stephanie being the announcement made last night during WrestlePalooza, debut on ESPN, kudos to them, well done, good job. Now Stephanie McMahon is going into the Hall of Fame, the first inductee for the class of 26. And what? Why are you holding your face? I'm holding my face because I've got a bad feeling about this. First inductee case.
Okay, back to regular programming. Wow, that's
So they were wondering, does this mean that Vince will come back? Hell no, ain't no way. They're not going to let Vince back in. They're telling everybody he's a bumpkin, he's a yokel.
No.
And Stephanie is
right
on board right there.
On his legal issues. Do you have any legal updates? That seems to be very quiet.
I have not heard any legal updates regarding the Janelle Grant case, although there was a Johnny Ace sighting a couple of weeks ago at an independent show in Georgia. And I said here that, I think that maybe it could be the first signs of Vince popping his head up saying, go out, scout me some talent, kid. So I know what's going on. Who knows? But, when you've got, there we go, Kevin Kelly Esquire. I've changed my name. Nothing real, there's back and forth with Janelle Grant, her lawyers filing, this one files, blah, blah, blah. But
Right.
Nothing has been settled. Nothing has been adjudicated. Everything is still in process. It's moving along, but the wheels of justice grind slowly. And until that happens,
there's another angle to look at it.
Okay.
Vince is how old?
80. Just turned 80.
80. I mean,
apparently looked like Dr. Evil at his birthday party.
He's not going to live another. What's that?
He was dressed like Dr. Evil, or coincidentally looked like Dr. Evil at his birthday party, as it was reported. You don't think he's going to live?
He has 2 kids, so.
Yep.
Nah, I mean, he's not going to live another 10, 20 years.
No surfboard, Scott, for Johnny Ace. That would have been skateboard. But by the way, I did tell my buddy who wrestled on that show, I said, oh, good. Now you're not the worst wrestler in the building. And he was like, you dirty bastard. Thank you. Yes. Because Johnny Ace sucked.
Johnny Ace.
So, I mean, he's 80 years old and he's got 2 kids. And I don't know, is he estranged from both of them? Do either have a relationship? I don't know.
The money's going to go to them, you would imagine, right? I could see Shane coming up and taking things over.
And what, in terms of Vince McMahon Enterprises, whatever it could be next?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or does Vince, in a spiteful, fit of typical Vince, depends on his mood and the day of, right? Like, you have to write your will, Vince. Well, his will and testament is depending on his mood that day. Hell, that hour. Shane, why would I leave anything to him? Oh, I love my son, Shane.
I wonder what Vince's day consists of. He gets up, goes to the gym at 3 a.m, probably.
Yep.
And then what?
He
has nothing to do.
No,
right?
He'll angrily eat a steak. He'll rifle through his articles. He'll reformat Raw from a week ago and get on the phone and start calling people.
Involved in.
He's going to get on the phone and start calling people. What's the word on the street,
Who is
pal?
the friend? Who do you think is the friend that he calls and they're like, Vince, you're gone. They're saying to themselves, they're friends with Vince, but they're saying, Vince, it's over. Stop calling me and talking to me about all this wrestling shit.
Nope.
Who is that friend, I wonder?
I don't think he has that friend.
Is it Johnny Ace?
Maybe, but Johnny Ace is never going to say that to him. Would it have been Bruce Pritchard?
Right.
Bruce Pritchard was never going to say anything. The only
but
person
they're saying it to themselves, like, come on, Vince.
Oh, of course. This is ridiculous. Yeah. But they know if let's say Vince is paying Johnny Ace, right, under the table, he ain't going to say anything. The only person that ever, never had a problem telling Vince to his face what he thought was Pat. And that's why Vince respected Pat more than anybody else. Now, Jim Ross would give the unvarnished truth, but he didn't have the sway of Pat Patterson.
He'd probably do it in a different way than Pat would do it. He'd probably do it in a politically correct, respectful demeanor.
Ultimately,
instead of Pat just saying.
Ultimately, JR would defer to the fact that Vince was his employer and he needed the job. Pat had no problems quitting. I don't need this. I'll go play golf.
How many times did he quit,
He quit a lot.
Yeah.
I'll quit. I don't care. I don't need this. I'll just go play golf.
Yeah.
I heard him say it once. I heard him say it 100 times. And he didn't care. And eventually he didn't care. And then he left. Oh, he'll be back. Yeah. He'll be back. No, he won't. He'll come back when he wants. He's had, he's had, some friends. Yeah, his personal trainer, of course, people that he could trust. People that are involved in the suit. I don't know. I know that there was
his personal trainer became a wrestler in Boca, down in South Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was his name? Kenny? Kenny Thesens? Or Thesens or something like that?
I don't
He
know.
was Vince's trainer and ended up breaking into the business.
Oh.
He looked Jack looked like he had the part.
I know that there was a Stanford cop for years that was Vince's training partner, and would help him with nutrition and such. But he was a Stanford, Connecticut cop. I forget his name. He was a really nice guy,
Right.
normal dude, but and he probably could tell Vince a thing or two. But all those guys died off, Casey. Arnie Skoland,
Yeah.
Monsoon, any of that generation that knew Vince as the, junior, even though he wasn't a junior, but
Vinny
they called
Jr.
him junior. Yeah. They were
Right.
gone. And as Vince got bigger and bigger, his appetite, shall we say, got bigger and bigger, and everything went off the rails and changed. And I've said this before here on this podcast and others. It's the same thing like Cornette said, like Jim Ross has said. That's not the Vince that we knew. Vince didn't stray from the, he didn't stray from the beam, from the task at hand, which was producing television. We never saw any of that deviant behavior. We never
what it sounds
heard
like?
about it.
Vince got bored. That's why he allegedly did all that stuff.
Yeah.
He was bored. Because you take someone that is that wealthy, they can get anything they want.
Right.
They do things because they're bored. I have a friend that's wealthy like that, like uber wealthy, worth billions of dollars, and
golly,
he does stuff because he's bored.
Can you imagine
why you do that? I don't know, because I can.
Because you can. Because you can.
Yeah.
So we've touched on the good, the bad, and the ominous as far as WrestleMania coming up in Saudi Arabia. The NFL is now in bed with Saudi Arabia. There's going to be a flag football league tournament game with retired NFL stars, including Tom Brady, who was there, shaking the hand with the Saudi Arabian Sheik or whoever was in charge of the deal.
So they're going to get that. I'm thinking of thumbnails already. I'm trying to figure out if I can get a picture of me and you wearing the Sheik things.
You read my mind, Casey, because I didn't tell you this, but that was what I envisioned for the thumbnails. Was you and I dressed like Saudi guys?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, who can do that? Bob Cook, if you're
can you Photoshop us looking
because he does everything like with
and just to help,
Bob does all kinds of crazy stuff with AI.
Make Casey look like the Sheik,
I need a picture of that.
And make me look like the woman covered up, because it'll only help. Hey, honey, we're going to WrestleMania. Woohoo! This is great. The dream. Here's your veil. What? Oh, yeah,
exactly.
Just,
your burqa.
Put your burqa on.
Maybe you got to pick out some, get your, what's it, bedazzler for your burqa.
That's and what's this? Oh, this is a leash. What do you mean leash? Well, you have to be chained to me at all times. I can't let you get too far away.
Exactly.
It's just going to be interesting to see how all of this unfolds.
And that's in 2 years?
Yeah. So I forget where it's going to be this coming year. Okay. I think they said SoFi, and then next year it's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Will there be an American version?
Wow.
If TKO could sell it, they'll do it. They don't care. Everything's got a price. And there you go.
It comes down to if Saudi Arabia contractual lets them do it.
Right.
Because if it was me paying $250 billion, I wouldn't want any other WrestleMania.
Right.
You can call it whatever you want, but we're the only WrestleMania.
And then, okay, so if WrestleMania goes for $250, Next year, what would the Royal Rumble go for? What would SummerSlam go for? How many other events could get sold to the Saudis? Will this become an annual thing with WrestleMania? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know at all.
I wonder if Sheik and LL Casey is going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I think he would have to, even though he was, wasn't he Italian or Pakistani? He wrestled as Billy White Wolf, and then and then Ken Patera broke his neck, and then he became Sheik Adnan Al Casey, because that was his name. So I'm not sure where he's from, but let's say, in theory, can they do something like that? And if there's a Hall of Fame, do they have any say in that? Well, no, because you put Stephanie McMahon in. But if they disagreed, if they didn't like somebody, I don't know. You open up Pandora's box, Casey, and you don't know what's going to pop out. And it isn't always Pandora, as we know.
Yeah, well, they get the money. They don't care, I guess, right?
Right.
It's all about that bottom line.
It's all about the base. It's all about the money. It's all about the bottom line for GKO. And that's what we said. We've covered a lot of ground here on this week's episode. And I ask that all of you, I lovingly ask all of you to please subscribe, like these videos, share, subscribe, tell everybody you know, tell people you don't know about the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast, because we're kind of doing this thing. We're on a roll here. We're every week. We're going to stay this way for the foreseeable future, and everything is looking bright. We've crossed the 500 subscriber threshold, and our goal is to get to 1,000
on the road to 1,000.
On the road to 1,000. So the sooner that we get there, the bigger goals we can make.
To 1,000. That's it.
Road to 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So Casey, final thoughts on this week's episode?
It is a little boring.
What?
I think we should have stuck to the show notes.
Casey took us around the world.
For people that don't know, we don't have show notes. We don't talk about anything prior to turning on the record button.
If Casey's having a good day,
and we go live.
If Casey's cerebellum is firing on all cylinders, folks, you're going to hear it. And okay, so I gotta go back. The fanny pack pharmacy. You didn't know what it was, right? Because you dumped a little of this and a little of that, then you zipped the pouch, correct? Or were they in the bottles?
Okay. No, you just threw it in there. and not only that, people like, here, take this, take that. And they don't have the normal names like, Oxycontin, this or that. They're all in Spanish, so you don't really know what it was. It was kind of a roulette wheel of, up, down.
Could be an upper, could be a
feel
downer.
Good. Yeah, so you just took it and, we were in Rome, so we did as they do.
Spin the wheel, make the deal. That's how it works, folks.
And live to survive.
And live to survive. Peruvian wrestling. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So we've taken you a trip around the world, from South America to Japan, to a Kuwaiti prison, to Saudi Arabia. And we've done it all here in about an hour and a half. Not a bad trip, I would say. And nobody had to wear a burqa. But that's going to do it for this edition of the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast. For your pharmacy extraordinaire, Casey Thompson, I'm your humble host, Kevin Kelly. And we'll see you next week on the In-Ring Wrestling Podcast.